Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of Financial Field Notes. If you don't know this about me, I have a substack called Field Notes by Shannon, hence Financial Field Notes, and today's topic is going to be about what I'm doing to jumpstart my journey to hopefully becoming work optional. So I'm going to share 5 things that are simple, easy places to get started because I think that it is difficult to find a place to really jump off from. And this is where I've decided I'm going to start. Number 1 is tracking my expenses. I've done this before I've done this for a few months at a time, and then kind of got to the point where I thought, okay, I don't need to do this anymore. I have an idea of what is going in and out of my accounts. However, I think this is something that I need to stick to month, even when I do start to have a better idea of what is coming in and out. I want to know every single penny that is coming into my accounts, out of my accounts, where it's going and where it's coming from. Because when things unexpected happen and I don't know where that's coming from and where all my money went, that becomes a problem. So I'm going to be using a zero-based budgeting approach so that I know down to the penny. So basically step 1 is, if you're not tracking your expenses, if you don't know where your money is going, how can you be making decisions about your finances if you don't know what's going on with them? So tracking your expenses is the biggest building block that you could have. If you don't do anything else, I think it should be tracking. Number 2, all the leftovers go into savings. And by this, I don't necessarily mean that all of my leftovers go into my retirement or my emergency fund. They could go in there, but I think at the end of every single month, I am going to take a look at everything and decide if I want to put my leftover money into, it could be a bucket for going on a trip that I want to go on with my girlfriends or my husband, or just something I've been wanting to purchase that I feel that I should save up for rather than just impulsively purchasing in the moment. And I think that's going to help me make better, sound financial decisions, being able to then reallocate that money to something beneficial later instead of it just sitting in my checking account, and that it has a purpose. I think that is something that's very important, that all of your money has a purpose. Number 3 is reassess at the end of the month. So at the end of every single month, this is going to be my first month of doing a deep dive into things. So the month of June. Not only do I want to know what I have left over, if that is the case, but I want to know if I'm overspending. I want to know where I'm doing that. How do I cut back on that? How do I reallocate things so that maybe I'm not overspending there if I do have money left over in this other bucket? So if I end up going out to eat more than I thought, maybe I should dial back on going out to eat. But if I'm going and doing that with friends, maybe I need to reallocate some money to be able to go and do that with my friends. A really great example of this is that I knew that my car insurance was going to hit this month, but it still snuck up on me. So that is something that I know that I need to allocate money or a bucket for, that I am putting money into every single month, so that when it does come up in 6 months from now, that I know that I have that money put away and I'm not going to have to figure out where that's coming from. Number 4 is meal prep, and I'm sure that you have heard this before, that purchasing food at the grocery store and making it yourself is going to be cheaper than going out to eat all of the time. That doesn't mean that you have to do a full-on meal prep every single week for every single one of your meals. I'm not saying that at all. I try to just, at the bare minimum, do my breakfasts and my lunches and my pre-workout snack for in the morning. Anything else starts to become a little bit overwhelming for me. So I like to also then try for my dinners, get something together that I don't have to prep ahead, but is still very easy for me to do. If that ends up being a girl dinner, that is a girl dinner, but I had something prepared And that doesn't mean that I'm not going to go out and have food with my friends, grab coffee. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to get home from work after a long day and think, I don't want to make food, I'm going to order something. That is perfectly fine. By all means, go and do that. However, I don't think that that should be the norm, at least not for myself. However, the caveat to this is that if I have prepped my meals, my need after a long day to order food because I'm tired and I don't want to make food is moot, because I have already prepped my meal. And yes, I'm tired, but I don't have to do anything other than warm it up. So you could look at that either way, of that don't restrict yourself necessarily from doing things that you like doing, but like, I don't need to go and buy lunch every single day at work. I can bring my own, and that will save me significant amounts of money over time. Number 5, it doesn't have to be this, but finding a way to bring in extra money that is not going to add a lot more to your plate. So what I'm currently doing is I'm selling my clothes and my husband's clothes that we are no longer wearing, that we no longer love, that have been gently used. I am selling them on Depop. I have used Poshmark for quite some time, but I'm giving Depop a try. So far, so good. In about a week's time, I made around $50, and I think that finding a secondhand purchase is a win in general. Like, I love a secondhand find, and I think it's a win-win situation. It's a win for you, it's a win for the person purchasing it, and I also love to buy things on places like Poshmark, Depop, Vinted, so on and so forth. So again, it doesn't have to be selling your clothes, but find something that can help you bring in some extra money without basically giving you a second job if you don't have to have one. So again, the 5 things that I'm doing are tracking my expenses, putting all the leftovers from my budget into some sort of savings bucket, reassessing at the end of every single month, because that's going to change from month to month, and you might know that something is coming up and you need to rearrange your budget. Number 4, meal prep as much as you can. Not necessarily even meal prep, just cook at home as much as you can. And if you want to go out to eat with your friends, cool. One of my friends and I have started doing a weekly dinner together that we make the food. I bring a dish, I usually go over to her house, and that has actually saved money as well, because we're getting to spend time together and sit down and have a meal without going out and paying the extra money that comes with that. And number 5, my thing is selling clothes on Depop, but finding something that brings in some extra income for you without making it feel like you have an entirely second job, because the whole point of this is to give you more freedom with your time, honestly, to be, hopefully at some point, work optional, which is freedom with your time. Having more time to do whatever it is that you like doing. And if working is what you like doing, by all means, go and do that. So I hope this helps you out, and I'm excited to share this journey with you. And I hope that we can all get to our place of financial wellness, whatever that is to you. And as always, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next week. Bye.